I might have to cut it out.
Yeah,
So I don't embarrass myself.
How did you do that, man? That's crazy, bro. Crazy story is people promise you, hey, yo, I can do this for you, can do this for you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Some people gonna take your, you know, there's a lot of scamming in hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. What I learned, you know what I mean, at that age, you got real ones that actually want to see you win. If you wasn't, you know what I mean, around that type of, you know what I mean, atmosphere, I feel sorry because there was a lot of people, you know, it's still like that. You gotta go through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta go through it. You kind of gotta decipher the two, but at the end of the day, you might have to get played a couple of times before you start figuring it out. Like, right. Nah, I don't feel it.
Mile High Minute, #1 blog in the universe, man. Today,
hey,
we got a very special guest, man. Dayon, what's the word, man? How you doing?
On, man? It's been a minute. Been grinding, you know, moving around. You know what I mean? Getting to it. New joint with La Russell. It was just on the West Coast, was a little promo run and just promoting the record. You feel me? Trying to get to it and get this thing out there so the world can hear it. You feel me? That's about it.
Hell yeah. What's funny is we met in the same spot like a couple years ago. I want to say.
Yeah.
Randomly.
About two.
I was here. I was doing a video shoot with someone else, and I ended up kind of interviewing there too. But
yeah.
This is an official one.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sitting down with me again, man.
No, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. You know, it's love. It's an honor. And I've been seeing you booming. You feel me? Trust me, I'm going on there looking and paying attention. I'm like, oh yeah, he moving. I done seen your followers go from here to, you know what I mean, taking it to the moon. You taking it to the moon.
Yeah, that's what we on, man. Just trying to take that next level.
Yeah, salute.
Hell
sure.
Yeah. So let's do a little quick background story, and then we'll get into the music and stuff like that. So, Beloit, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Beloit.
Is that like outside of Madison, Milwaukee? Where's that at?
Yeah, so it's like, we about 30 minutes from Madison.
Okay.
About 45 to 50 from Milwaukee.
So like right kind of in the middle?
Yeah, and about an hour from Chicago. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Hour some change from Chicago. So Beloit is right on the border of Illinois. You know what I mean? Literally, you can go to South Beloit, in the Beloit, and walk across the street, you in Illinois. You feel me? So
damn.
Yeah.
So are you more of like a Chicago sports fan or like Wisconsin,
man,
Milwaukee?
You know, but I ain't gonna lie, a lot of my family, they a lot of family I got in Chicago. My sister stay in Chicago, cousins and you know what I mean, family. But I'm Green Bay Packers all day. You feel me? Even though I'm right there, we the first city of Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Then you go up north.
Yeah.
So, but it's you know, it's definitely Green Bay for me for sure.
Give the people a quick little background on Beloit and what's like growing up there and stuff like that compared to, you know, Milwaukee, Madison. Because I feel like when people think of Wisconsin, they always think of, you know, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Green Bay.
Yeah, known spots for sure.
So, yeah, if you just want to break it down a little bit for them.
Man, Beloit is, you know what I mean, just like the Mill, it's the same thing. Shout out to the Mill. Small city, gritty, you know what I mean? Definitely, like all small cities are, you feel me? You can find that pocket where it go crazy at, but a lot of talent there, a lot of stuff be moving around there as well, you know what I mean? It's a dope city in terms of culture. A lot of blacks, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of whites as well, diverse. You know what I mean? And diverse. And we got Diane Hendricks, you know what I mean? She a billionaire, she out of there, you know what I mean? So, but the Beloit is dope, you know what I mean? If you were to come there, it's definitely a vibe, you know what I mean? It's well-rounded, all aspects, and you know that's really what it is.
What's like the population, if you had an estimate?
40, I believe we might be like 40 something thousand, maybe 50 right there. Yeah. I haven't checked in a while. I know it's gradually increasing, so it might be like 40 something. Definitely over 40. You know what I mean? Might be hitting 50 for sure.
How did you pick up the mic? What were some of your early musical influences, and what inspired you and everything like that?
Man, it was my brother Tone. I was taking his raps. Him and my cousin Cole Minotti, they had a group. Shout out to my brother. He used to have his little notebook or whatnot. So I would just take pages out of his book, read them, act like they was mine. You know what I mean? I would be going to my little friends or whatnot. I'm going over his rhymes and reciting his rhymes or whatnot to them. You know what I mean? And that's how I found the love for it.
What would you say was the first moment you started taking it serious, where it transitioned from a hobby into a career?
Man, it's crazy. The moment I really started taking it serious, I think I had locked myself a whole summer. I didn't go out. My cousin and them, they was kicking it. You know what I mean? They all wanted to go and party and all that. I said, man, I'm going to lock myself in the crib. You know what I mean? The whole summer I ain't going to come out. I came out here and there, but I pretty much just dialed in and wrote the whole summer. I didn't take a break. My brother would come in the crib like, man, you still in there writing rhymes, bro? You supposed to be out kicking. I'm like, man, I'm in there. I was trying to get my writing together, and then by the time August came up, I was a monster. When we got back in school, I was slaying. You feel me? I was slaying. So that's really I really got into it, and took a liking to it. Just being behind my brother, taking that summer to really grind it out, and then coming back to school. You know, at school you writing. Everybody who rapping, reciting rhymes when you get back in school. So
did you say middle school or high school or
high school?
High school.
Yep.
What grade?
I was like 9th grade, 10th grade.
Okay, so
I was going crazy.
Pretty early on though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 9th grade, 10th grade.
What high school did you go to?
Beloit Memorial High School. Shout out Purple Knights. They going crazy too right now with football, and they did decent basketball. Been doing their thing too.
Okay.
For sure.
What is it like? I know out here we got like classifications up to like 6A.
Yeah.
Is it similar out in Wisconsin?
Yeah. Because I ran track. So they got divisions. Certain you got certain divisions, and our school is like at the top. You facing a lot of that dope that high end competition for sure.
You said you ran track. Did you do anything else or?
Nah. So I was good. I tried football. I was dope at football. You know what I mean? I actually got I could have had a scholarship. I remember the coach coming in and telling me, man, why you quit? You could have got a D1 scholarship. But I was new. You know, I ain't do no Pop Warner. I got hit. You know what I mean? And my back was out. I'm like, man, it's over. And I was skinny like a toothpick too.
Yeah.
So he came in the weight room one day like, man, why you stop? I was like, man, I got to stay with track, bro. He like, man, we could have got you a D1 scholarship. My cousin, Mike Lewis, he got a scholarship. And then I just stuck with track because I was like, you know what I mean, the captain. You feel me? I went to state, you know what I mean, and all that. So I'm like, let me stick to that. I ain't trying to break my bones and nothing. Right, you feel me? I got popped, man. I walked to the crib. You feel me? My mom was like, I remember when I walked home, she was after practice and I got hit. I walked home and I was like walking sideways. I messed up my disc, you know what I mean? And she was like, nah, I ain't go through that Pop Warner. I wasn't trained for that. You feel me?
I have somewhat of a similar story. When I was young, it was like little league football. Like, I know I'm pretty average, a little taller than average now, but when I was young, I was small, like real skinny, and just like really below weight.
Yeah.
I might cut this out. Just
no. Put it in, keep it in. That's good.
But I was playing for the Broncos in little league. It was like the first or second practice or something. I was excited, but I was smaller than everyone.
Right.
And I just remember seeing one dude get cracked right in front of me. And I was like, I'm going to just stick to basketball.
Oh, yeah. You ain't even give him a chance to hit you. You like, man, let me get up out of here, man. You feel me?
Yeah, I was like, I'm finna just stick to basketball and baseball.
Yeah.
But it was funny, too. My little brother, he played in the league below me, but we're close in age.
Right.
But he was like one of the bigger dudes, so I was always a little jealous. I was like, damn, I wish I was a little bigger, you know what I'm saying? At that time. But
yeah. Same story. I was toothpick. I couldn't do that. I'm like, man, they cracking. You feel me? For sure. It's over. You know what I mean?
My mom, too, she was feeling the same way. Like, oh,
yeah.
Go play baseball.
Come on, man. For real. Mom was cussing me out. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Okay, so you did some work with Bun B and Lil Jon?
Yep.
How did those collaborations come together, and what did that teach you early on about the industry?
Bun was dope, man. Bun was solid. You know, he taught me that he was real. You know what I mean? Vivid story of him. Pulled up on him in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to do a feature. He like, man, come on. I'm like, what you mean, come on? He like, man, I'm leaving my security here. Got in the car with us. This is a short story. Slid to the studio. Wrote his verse in about 5 minutes. Kicked through. Did the verse. Slid back to the club. Memorized the verse. Did the song the same night. You feel me? He was just humble, man. He ain't bring no security. He jumped in the van with us. You know what I mean? And slid with us to go do the song. That was real dope. And that just showed me how really he is. And I met Pimp C as well, you know what I mean, right before he passed.
Is that South by Southwest?
No, we was just out there. I was out there for a show. Okay. He was out there too.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
He was probably like headliner.
Yeah, he was a headliner for sure. And he actually did the verse for me, and we made it happen. And then Lil Jon, I got connected through one of my other guys in Houston, who had a plug with him, the label I was dealing with at the time. They put all that together, you know what I mean? And we made a little run with that song. I never met him, but I know he was cool. I talked to him on the phone. Really, pretty much what it taught me is, you know what I mean, the people, everybody ain't the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you do got a lot of real ones. You got a lot of ones that ain't what they say they are. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that say they are, the ones that are real, the body language and how they move and their actions is gonna tell itself. You feel me? So you just gotta learn, you know what I mean, how to dissect the two. You know what I mean? That's what I had to learn early on, because you'll get lost. People promise you, hey, yo, I can do this for you. You can do this for you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Some people gonna take your, you know, there's a lot of scamming in hip hop music. So what I learned, you know what I mean, at that age, you know what I mean, at that time, I mean, is Bun B, it was you got real ones that actually want to see you win. He wanted to see you win.
Right.
He wasn't there for the paper like that. If you was dope, he wanted to see you win, and he was gonna stretch it a mile to make sure you win. And if you wasn't, you know what I mean, around that type of, you know what I mean, atmosphere, I feel sorry because there was a lot of people, you know, it's still like that. You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point. I've been scammed in the industry.
Man, come on.
It's a difference. Like, even with blogs, like, there's some blogs that you could tell they gonna try their best to, like, yeah, you might have to invest in, but they gonna try their best to really, like, push that brand or push or make the promo post look good. You know, they're gonna do their best to make it make it worth it.
Yeah.
And then there's some blogs, okay, here's quick bread here, I'm gonna just post your song. I don't even care what the caption is. So you gotta kind of differentiate. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
Come on, man.
I've seen that.
And the crazy thing is, though, it's sad because you got to go through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We done all went through it. Like, you got to go through it. You kind of got to decipher the two. But at the end of the day, you might have to get played a couple of times before you start figuring it out. Like, nah, I don't feel right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it real.
Right. Even me. Me too. Anyone who's been in the industry long enough.
Man, come on. Like, it's going to help build that wall, though, for sure.
So how did the Girls Gone Wild soundtrack placement come about, and what did it mean for your visibility at the time?
Man, that Girls Gone Wild, that was real dope. Just because, shout out to Voodoo. Voodoo put that together. One of my business partners, actually like a brother. He made that happen. We did the record. Some way, somehow, we sent it in, and then they grabbed it real quick. That was dope, man. It was crazy, though. It was a lot of females that was, you know what I mean, they love, you know, that girls kissing girls. That was like, it kind of caused some kind of, like in the club, man. I remember they played it in the club one time. Shout out to my guy Ross. He like, man, that song up here hit, bro. They loving that record up here. The girls was really kissing girls in the club. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? We kind of stirred the pot with that a little bit, you feel me? But it was dope. It was a dope experience. My visibility shot out the roof. We was going to do some more stuff with them, but then they start, you know, Girls Gone Wild actually died off right after that, I think, like a year or two.
Yeah, those were like the CDs, right? With the back in the day with the.
So they was on the cusp of digital. Cause I don't remember. I know they started out with
the CDs. Pornos, right? Or am I tripping?
No.
Okay,
No. So the Girls Gone Wild was like, you could see it. They was like, they had regular clothes on.
Yeah.
They had the show. You know what I mean? It was like that reality type TV. Remember?
My bad.
Yeah, remember
I was confused.
Yeah, no, they had the show. It was like, it wasn't nudity or nothing like that extreme, but they, you know, they had the show where they had the girls in bikinis and all that. They had like their own little reality.
Okay, so it was explicit, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that OnlyFans and none of that.
I might have to cut it out.
Yeah,
so I don't embarrass myself.
But that was when it was actually converting over to being digital. You know what I mean? At that time, it was starting to, you know what I mean?
Was it the same company though, or like the same people?
I ain't gonna even lie to you. I don't even really remember too much of it. I just know my guy plugged me with it, and then we was there. Yeah.
How long did you live in Beloit?
Beloit.
But and then did you move from there to Vegas?
Yeah. So I left Beloit in 2010.
Okay.
2011. 12 really, you know what I mean? Went over there because Voodoo, who got the Grammy, he got a Grammy with Ludacris, and he worked with like Chingy and a lot of different other artists. He had me come out there. He wanted to do some work with me, so I slid out there, and we banged out a lot of records, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, man, I like Vegas. I'm like, man, I might stick around here because it was just way better. You know, it's a better outlet. Beloit ain't really no outlet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Vegas
Shout out, I love Beloit. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to do something, you got to move up out of your zone and go get it. So that's why I'm like, let me move around and go get it and then bring it back. So I went to Vegas. It was dope. You know what I mean?
What would you say you learned from like moving out, and what kind of helped you take that leap of faith? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's easy to get comfortable in your own city and want to stay there because you know people and like what made you say, nah, like I got to get out of here and go somewhere else? And was it tough? Like,
Yeah. It was really my brother he was in the feds.
Okay.
Shout out Tony Lugo. He went to the feds. He had caught like 30, you know what I mean? And he had, at the time, we didn't know if his time was gonna get reversed. But I'm like, man, I gotta get up out of there. And I remember I asked my mom, she like, I wanted to make sure she was good. You know what I mean? I didn't want to leave and make sure I wanted to make sure she was straight. She like, look, get up out of here. Cause if you stick around here, you know what I mean, you're gonna get in some trouble. You ain't gonna, your dreams ain't gonna flourish. Just get up out of here. And at that time, my brother was in the feds, you know what I mean? So that was a big hit. So I'm like, man, I got to go get it and bring it back. And then I remember going to see my brother, and through the glass, he like, hey, you the man of the house now, you feel me? So I had to pretty much go get it, you know what I mean? I couldn't sit around there. Like I said, there ain't too many outlets in the Midwest in general. Chicago,
right.
Milwaukee maybe, but where I'm at, it's a small city. So I'm like, man, I gotta go get it. You know what I mean? I can't sit around here. You know what I mean?
Was it kind of a gift and a curse? Because they call Vegas Sin City, right?
Yeah.
So was it kind of a gift and a curse where, yeah, okay, I'm moving to a new place, so it's less, I don't know as many people, so it's like I can focus on my grind. But at the same time, Vegas, everyone knows you go out there, it's easy to have fun out there.
Man, listen, I ain't
the
gonna lie.
gambling and the girls and all that.
Yeah,
you know?
Crazy story is, okay, when we first got there, I seen off the bat, I'm like, man, off jump, I met, the first week I was there, I met a doctor. He had lost all his money gambling. He tried to sell us his title for like $100. Me, shout out Big B and Dale. He wanted us to give him. He wanted us to
his
give
car?
him. Yeah, he was gonna give us his title. He needed $100. He's like, man, I just need to gamble, man. He gave us his backstory. He lost all his bread. You know, he lost all his chop. You know, he wanted $100 for his title so he could go gamble. I'm like, man, we ain't doing that now. Somebody else would have took that and ran off with that whip.
Right.
I was like, man, I said, no, we can't do that. And then we met this girl. She was a nurse. Her husband left her while she was out there, you know what I mean, gambling all the money away. He cut her off. We heard about her story. So I'm saying all that to say that I seen a lot when I was there, you know what I mean? But I wanted to stick. I was on a vision. I had a vision. I was on tunnel vision mode. I pretty much told my mom what I was going to do. I pretty much accomplished that while I was there. I was grinding, and I was staying with my cousin, shout out Shawan. He was like, man, you got more damn connections than me, and I'm born here. I'm born and raised here, bro. Because I was moving around the city. I was staying out sometimes 7 in the morning. I come back tiptoeing in the crib. I don't want to wake him and his wife up. But I'm out to 7 in the morning connecting, networking, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of formed my bond and a lot of people that's there now, you know what I mean? A lot of people I know.
That's an overlooked addiction. Like,
man.
Like, you know, when you think of addiction, everyone thinks about like drugs, obviously, stuff like that. But gambling is bad.
It's an addiction, bro. They say gambling is actually worse than drugs, bro. When the people that actually do it, this is what I heard. You know what I mean? They like, man, once you get that itch, you gotta have that $10, $5 to try to go get. These people literally lose thousands and think $5 gonna get their money back.
Right.
Once they in that zone, they're like, I gotta go get my money back. I just need $100. Man, I seen it. I seen it, bro. I seen it. I'm like, man, it was sad. I mean, people lost I'm talking about, dude was a millionaire, he said.
That's crazy.
The girl that we met, the nurse, her husband took it all. You know what I mean? Because she was out there gambling, all their money away. He divorced her, left her out there too. You know what I mean? I seen that when I first moved there.
And it's like you win a little bit and you think, oh, okay, I'm gonna finish.
Man, that's all the game, bro. That's all the game, bro. They know what they doing, man. You ain't gonna listen. For y'all people who think you can beat the casino, you ain't beating the casino.
That's why
bro.
they there.
You're not beating the casino, bro.
Same with sports gambling. Shit.
Yeah, you're not. You gon' I know somebody. I ain't trying to prolong it, but I know somebody that won $50,000. He just told me the story. He won $50,000, and he looked at the end of the year to see how much he made. And he only had made like $48,000. He like, damn, I ain't even broke even.
Right.
You thought you ain't winning.
Put all that time.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that right there let you know it ain't it.
Right. Yeah. Were you there to see like the Raiders and the Knights and stuff like that? Teams start going there.
I was still going.
You seeing the city growing?
Yeah, I seen it because I went there in 2012. I left in like 2016, 17, and then throughout them years I was always going back. So I seen it gradually grow. But one of these last times, like last year, I really got to put my eyes on it and see how big it really grew. I moved around the city. Like anytime I would go there, I'd go in, wiggle, and go up to the Bay, come back down, and go, you know what I mean, back to the Midwest, or come here. So when I actually got a chance to really soak it in, I'm like, damn, this it went crazy. You know, it went crazy for sure.
No, it's
more like a community now.
Growing cities.
Yeah, it's more like a community now. You can live there. It ain't, you know what I mean? It's like more of a community.
It's not just a travel destination.
Yeah, a lot of families live there now because of the sports and all that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about Hands Up a little bit? That's one of your biggest hits.
Yeah, for sure.
Break that down a little bit, how that came together and the story behind it and stuff.
I was going back in like 2010, 2011. I shot overseas.
Okay.
I was actually out there I met this girl in New York, and she from Spain, Canary Islands. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
New
you know
York.
what? Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I keep relating to little stuff you be
You feel me? Hey, you feel me?
Go ahead,
I met this girl out there. I was
Yeah.
actually at an award show out there in like 2011 or something. And I met this girl. She was in Spain. And she was like, you need to come out there and do your music out there. You would be big. I'm like, I had already been to France and seen what it's like. I seen the fans over there go crazy for you. You ain't got a big name if they hear you a rapper. They surround you and go wild if you from the States. So I'm like, all right, cool. We found somebody over there, sent the record out to this station in Spain. Next thing we know, we on the charts with Nicki Minaj and all them. The song kept climbing. You feel me? And then one thing led to another. Me going over there doing the show. And then, you know what I mean, performing over there. And then going over there again to London, going over there to Belgium. I started having this like, you know what I mean, where I was going back to back over there for like 2 years, 3 years straight. So it was dope. It was a dope vibe, dope experience. You know what I mean?
I went to New York once. Definitely a bunch of overseas, like people, foreigners,
Yeah.
foreign people. I met
Facts.
some people in like the UK or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just different out there. It's like, you know, growing up in Colorado is different.
Yep.
That's dope though. Was that cool? Just like seeing different, like different countries, like going, you know.
Yeah, one thing I remember vividly is my guy from the hood, Todd. Shout out to Todd. He was like, bro, to me, it didn't dawn on me. But he's like, bro, do you understand? It's some of us that we ain't never getting up out of the hood, bro. You actually went to France. He's like, you going to France, bro.
Right.
And me at that time, I ain't, you know, I'm like, yeah, France, blah, blah. This is before I went. And he was like, man, I don't think, he kept trying to dawn. He kept trying to beat it in my head.
Make you realize.
And then when I didn't realize until I went over there. And then when I came back, I'm like, damn, he is right. It's people that they don't know nothing else but Beloit. They don't even know nothing outside of the, like maybe Chicago and other places, but they don't even move around like that. He like, bro, you going way across the waters, bro. That's crazy. So it was like representation. I was like representing them. Me going over there is like I brought them with me. You know, and they had my story in their back pocket.
Yeah. The main push right now is the song with Lil Russell.
Yeah.
Trust Exercise.
Shout out to Russell.
Want to talk about that a little bit, how that came together, and you know, you said it's coming in June. Videos, anything like that?
Yeah, so the Russell record, how that happened is I started getting out of Russell back like in 2020, right when COVID hit. He had maybe 110,000 followers, bro. I kept hitting him maybe like once, twice a year. He finally reached out to me this past May when he had over 1 million followers. So he might have been like, man, damn, but this dude been consistent every year.
Yeah.
He finally reached out to me and was like, I'm like, man, I got a joint for you. He like, let's get it, send it to me. I sent him a record. I wanted him to get on with the game. He like, that joint cool. I ain't really feeling it. And I get it. You know what I mean? You got to be able to feel the record. So the joint is dope, though. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just send you 5 beats. Send him 5 beats. He sent me back a hook and a 16. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold up, man. I rewind that joint. I'm like, man, this dude sent me a 16 and a hook. Because he was feeling the record.
Yeah.
Went crazy. Then one thing led to another. I'm like, man, let's do the video. I said, I'm going to come to your neck of the woods. I'm going to come to Vallejo. I ain't even going. I could have flown him out here to Denver. I'm like, I'm going to just go there, slid out there, rented the bank vault and all of that. Made it happen. And then
that's Northern Cal, right?
Yeah, Northern California. Then but one thing led to another. We ended up doing another record. We got one in the chamber right now. I got to finish my part. He already sent it. So that's how that came about. Just staying consistent, and persistent, you know what I mean, in terms of trying to get a feature from him, and then finally led to getting one when he was up, you know what I mean?
That's big, staying consistent. I actually just followed up with the Flow Bosses. You might not be familiar with them.
I know you're talking
Handlebars.
Yeah.
It's probably, there hasn't been a whole bunch of mainstream hip-hop success out of Denver, but they one of the only ones. They're like a hip-hop band type thing.
Yeah.
To actually go, mainstream. So I followed up with them again today because I still haven't had a chance to interview them, and I remember they told me email them like 3 years ago. I went back and looked, and it's like sometimes I'll be working on some and they'll just come, like it don't even just have to be Flow Boss, but some will come up in my mind. And I'm like, oh, I gotta follow up with that person.
That's how I was.
So every year, like you said, you just
some
probably remind you of Lil Russell. Let me hit him back.
It just became like natural every year, once or twice at a certain time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Might be a song or something.
It was crazy, you know what I mean? And that's what it was. And then one thing led to another. That situation gonna happen for you, trust me. Because they trust me. You might not think they're looking at it, but they looking at it.
They see it, yeah.
They see it. They like, you know what, man, let's get him. He on it. He dedicated. You feel me?
Do you want to talk about actually the first time we met was you're working on a Jim Jones feature.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit? Break
yeah.
that down, backstory, stuff like that.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean, we also, I do want to rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out Even Biz, the joint that I got with La Russell. You know what I mean? That's on Even Biz. And shout out to Even Biz, man. They the new wave for any artist that's really trying to leverage. And you want to actually own 100% of your masters and stuff like that. And you want to get paid as the money come in. Even Biz, you know what I mean, is where y'all want to go. I'm telling y'all, that's you know what I mean, they official. What happened is the Jim Jones record, after this record I got with La Russell, with Even Biz, is out right now. Y'all can go to even.biz to go grab that. I'm releasing that June 2nd with all platforms and the video. You know what I mean? I gave it some time on Even Biz because the money was coming in. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy how it's working over there. We're going to drop that, and then June 9th, we dropping the Jim Jones record. And my guy, OV, he put that together. You know, he had a relationship with him and Filthy, you know what I mean, and made that happen. And now we finally, remember you interviewed me when we was really trying to figure it out. We really got it ready. I just had to build it. I don't believe in releasing records just to release them. You got to have a machine and the plan and the vision. So I kind of been building this whole thing up. And I know you probably can attest to it or see it. I'm bigger than what I was, you know what I mean, 2 years ago when we had that last interview. I got I'm done way more things. So I'm like, this the right time to drop it now. Because now people checking for it, you know.
Now that's an interesting perspective because the other side of that, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit on this. The other side of that is some artists believe, especially when you want to come up and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You gotta just push that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Like I interviewed Kayla Ray, and she was like talking about how she's holding on to a bunch of music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even she was saying like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta push it out, bro. So what do you think about that? Because it sounds like you want to have a plan. It's a big song. I get that, but do you also feel like, man, I gotta just push it because you don't know this could be the hit, and I'm just holding on to it.
I do agree with what she's saying, what you mean. I do agree with that, but how I look at it is I got a body of work, a gang of work, so I'm pushing all of that to build me up to this moment right now. So it's like I kind of like have a plan. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give them this heat that I got already. I know they gonna like it, they gonna love it. But I'm going to make sure, you know what I'm saying, I have like tears. Now this is La Russell. I'm going to throw this out here. Just so happened Jim Jones going crazy right now. What if I would have released that 2 years ago? He might have did something, but I bet you not right now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He finna release his new album in July. So just waiting on that moment sometimes, but also having enough body of work to where you can sustain that. And if you don't want to release it then, you can build up momentum. So it's all about momentum. I've been consistent. I ain't took no breaks. I'm like music-wise, I've been back to back to back to back. So that's the only reason I'm waiting to release it now. If I would have had all that music and that I got in archives and staying recording, I would have been released that record. I would have released that right after we talked. But that's the only reason I released it. You know what I mean? I waited on releasing it. You feel me?
I would definitely say right now it's a good time to drop that.
Yeah, I gotta do it now. I'll be a fool not to. Jim Jones might tell me, man, you tripping. You missed your opportunity.
Right,
you feel me? So,
did you meet him out here, or was it because at that time I had just interviewed him out here?
I remember you said that.
But I think
No, I didn't meet him.
Else?
Yeah. My guy is the one who put it. Like I said, OV the one who put that together.
Okay.
In the Bay Area, you know what I mean? He did all of that.
So I was looking at your Apple Music, and I believe your latest track was it Hourglass.
Hourglass.
Or is that one of your latest?
One of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hourglass and Incarcerated. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I did hear that one too.
Valentine's Day joints.
Yeah.
It was just Valentine's, yeah.
And then your last project, correct me if I'm wrong, Famous Yet?
No, so my last project, that was like a mixtape.
Okay.
My last project was that Famous Yet? My last actually like body, like big, you mean big body of work?
Yeah.
You're right. Because I dropped the Signature
you have
Moves.
like multiple tapes.
Yeah. Signature Moves was my last project. That's
Okay.
more like that lifestyle music, you know what I mean? That kind of like Currency, Larry June. That came out in September.
Okay.
That was my last project. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've been a lot of focus on singles. Is recently, at least for the past couple of years, is there any, I guess, strategy to that or you know what I'm saying? And by the way, everyone go check those out. Check out his
Signature
work.
Moves is out now for sure. No, really what I did is I came with Purple Pain first. Actually, I recorded that here. Shout out to Ember.
Okay.
Did that in the studio. Did half here and half in Wisconsin. But what I did is I was like putting the full body of work out. Like I had Purple Pain, then I had Famous Yet. And I'm like, man, these full body of work is cool, but I'm having to like put too much money on all of that. You feel me?
Yeah.
When you make the tracks and you lessen it, then you ain't got to spend all that money because you got to remember it's all about playlists. So
and it's hard to get people to listen
to a whole body of work. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna just break it down to 5 records, and then ones and twos, because it's easier to promote that. It's better for your pockets, and it's easier in terms of people really going in and just listening to that record. Because people just snatch certain songs off of there and put it on the playlist. I'm not big enough for them to be putting a whole body of work in their damn playlist. Yeah. So I'm like, work smarter, not harder. Right. Why am I doing all of this? I'm wasting records. Now, eventually they'll resurface because as the fans come, they'll go back and grab
it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah, but in that sense, that you kind of wasting songs though too, because a couple of those songs might be hits. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
worry about that later down the line.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me just focus on 5 EPs and singles. You know what I mean? That's what I'm on.
That's smart.
That's what I did. I'm like, I'm putting out too much damn music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Build that foundation. Is like, all right. Focus.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, no disrespect to putting out a whole body of work, but I feel like you know what I mean. You gotta really put a lot of money behind that. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then you gotta spend money. You know what I mean. And when you can focus on that one record and spend the money on that, or 2 records, you gotta spend on that whole project, and that's defeating the purpose of them really narrowing down to what song that's gonna take off for you. Right. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Couple quick questions to wrap it up.
Yeah.
What's the craziest studio session you've ever had?
Man, craziest studio session. I gotta go. You mean like man?
Just like a session you were like so
I can't
crazy.
Believe it.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna go with the Bun then, the Bun B. You know what I mean? Joint, and then we actually doing a verse to a joint that I have, and we go outside. He like, come outside with me. We walk outside. I see somebody pulling up in the Bentley, the burgundy Bentley, hot as hell outside with the damn mink with the fur on.
Houston culture, Texas.
Yeah,
culture.
with the fur on.
Yeah.
I look in the car. It's Pimp C. Pimp C put his hand out. What's good? I'm like, what's good? But he brought me out there. He like, yeah, dude. He nice. He you know what I mean. He dope. You know what I mean. And this was right before he passed. You know what I mean. So yeah, that was the RP Pimp C. He pulled up in the burgundy Bentley with the burgundy fur coat on. And then, you know, I mean, that was. He was like, actually, I'm gonna be back, man. I'm gonna go handle something. I'm gonna come back and kick with y'all in the lab later on. But we all left. You know what I mean? That was hard. That was at Rap-A-Lot Studios. That was hard. So that's something that I remember for sure. I remember for sure. You know what I mean?
You have a dream collab? One dream collab, one person, dead or alive, that you know.
I really want. It was a dream collab, but I kind of already manifested that. Ross. I've been to Ross crib twice already, and I actually plugged him and John B in doing a song together on John B project.
Okay, that's why you picked up on Ross earlier. You were like,
yep. So Ross, but I'm gonna eventually do a record with him because I got to do something with Rose. Dream collab would definitely throw him in there. That's a dream collab. I would say him, and I would say probably J. Cole. You know what I mean? I'll put Cole up there.
Lyrical.
Yeah. I'll put Cole up there. So Ross and Cole. You know what I mean? You getting 2 different bodies of work. You getting one that's poetic in his own way and lyrical, but he still can hit you with that simplistic. That's who Rose is. He gonna hit you with something witty, but it ain't gonna be over there. And then you got J. Cole. You know what he do. Yeah. So those 2 people for sure.
What's one album you can't live without?
One album I can't live without, man. Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm probably gonna have to pull from the Rose, from the trench of the Rose. It's gonna be. It might be that Teflon Don.
Okay.
That Teflon Don was that.
I like your answers. It's a little unique. I feel like most people like, Tupac, Biggie, blah.
Yeah, no, that Teflon Don was crazy, bro. That Teflon Don was special. Cause I remember, songs create memories. And I remember that summer when that album came out, I had the Black Charger, you know what I'm saying, riding around in that, and that Aston Martin music and all that, bro. Big Meech and all that, man. Yeah. That was just something. It was crazy. That's actually what turned me up a little bit too, I think, in terms of music wise, you know what I mean? That Teflon Don, then the joint he had on there with CeeLo. That album was crazy, man.
I just posted someone who looked like CeeLo today.
Hey,
you seen that?
I seen that. I was laughing. I'm like, but you was spot on though, bro. I don't know how you got.
Were good,
how did you do that, bro? I said he had to spend some time on this.
I ain't gonna lie,
man. That's crazy, bro.
People don't be realizing like a quick Instagram post to some people, they be mad at me. Like, man, where's my post? They don't be realizing a quality Instagram post. What I was telling you about earlier, how blogs care.
For sure. For sure.
A blog that cares is gonna spend a couple hours on a good post, you know, or a good like it be taking me like a good quality post, bro, at least 30 minutes to sometimes an hour and a half.
Yeah,
that
man.
one was probably like 2 because I had to look. I was like I was thinking about it in my head.
I don't know how you did that, bro. I'm gonna be real. I sat when I seen it. I said, and the crazy thing is, those other people was artists too, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm correct,
most of them were.
Most of them were. Yeah. But that's crazy though how you found that. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you recognizing that because I don't think no one really understood how long it took.
I'm deep into the science. Yeah. I'm like, bro, that's special in itself, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what was. So a couple over the years have stuck out to me, like C-Face and Ace Hood. I interviewed him recently.
That was crazy. That was head on. Spot on.
When I interviewed him, I was like, he definitely looked like Ace Hood. So I had that in the back of my head. There was a couple that from the past, I feel like AP, his didn't look that good like Tyler Creator after posting it, but before, for some reason, I always felt like he kind of looked like him.
The CeeLo one, that was like,
today. I picked up on that today.
Yeah, that was kind of like, all of them was, and then the dude with the glasses.
Oh, Savvy?
Oh, man. I said, you got him all the way. He was there. He might as well switch him out for shows, bro. You need a dummy real quick, man. You know what I mean? Because he looked just like him for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that because, man, that shit took me forever. But I was like, in my head, I was like, I need something to do, like something to create a good conversation, something that would be
interesting,
entertaining,
bro.
Yeah. So,
I seen somebody in the comments like, man, do a part 2.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that again. That was hard, bro. That was hard.
If you weren't doing music, what would you be doing?
Man, I honestly think, man, I know I could have went to the league football wise. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I said it in one of my verses. You know what I mean? Sorry, I might be out of the frame. My fault.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I might have said it in one of my verses too. In Signature Moves, you know what I mean? I talked, y'all go check that out. It's an EP that's out in the first song called Signature Moves on there. I said if I'd have had a D1 scholarship, I kind of think about it sometimes, you know what I mean?
Right,
because, no, for real, because the coach walked in there, he told me, like, bro, we could have got you a D1 scholarship. I was killing him, and I hadn't even played a game yet. I just hadn't never played football, you know what I mean? So my body wasn't trained for that. But I'm saying that to say,
like maybe like athletic wise, or like you seen the talent.
Yeah. I wish, you know what I mean? Because at that time, my brothers, them, you know, they knew I was into sports, but not really. You feel me? So if I had somebody beating that in my ear, like, bro, you need to stick to it, then I probably would have stuck to it. You know what I mean? But
you need that.
You need, and every man needs that. Looking back, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? You got to remember, in our urban community, in the hood, we got so much, and not even just hood, worldwide. Sometimes your mom and your brothers them is doing, everybody living their own life, so you get so much going on. People trying to pay bills and stuff like that. But if I would have had somebody in my ear, then I know I probably would have did that. Because I'm saying that to say, the music business, I love it to death, and I'm glad I'm in it right now. Finally breaking that, you know, I want to cuss something great, but still though,
it's ruthless.
It's ruthless, bro. Football would have been an easy meal ticket because I was 2 touchdowns in practice a day. You know what I mean? Killing them easy. Cornerback, receiver, kick returner. They kick return. I was running the ball back every time. Super fast. Yeah, 4.2 speed. Okay. 4.3 speed. You know what I mean? So I say that to say, like, I know I would have went to the league, and the coach was mad at me for that. You know what I mean? So
there's a couple people I've done that I've talked to that felt the same way.
It just hit me though recently. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, it just hit me like that's why I talked about it. It's weird, but you think about it once you go through certain things in the music industry, you be like, damn man, it's a whirlwind. You feel me?
Yeah, I quit my senior year of basketball. I wasn't no great high school hooper or nothing.
Yeah.
I got cut freshman year. I played sophomore, junior. I made the team senior year too, but I ended up quitting. And like, I just regret like not even trying to go play college or something. Like I wasn't getting highly recruited enough, but just even trying to go walk.
Still though, it don't matter if you D1, D2, D3. You don't know what that could turn out to be.
Right.
You feel me?
I always regret that. Looking back, I always be thinking.
See, now I finally found somebody else. Because I ain't gonna lie, I know I'm not the only person in that boat. Now I found somebody else that's in that boat. You know what I mean?
I feel like the music industry be kind of having a lot of people like that, low key. Like even Sean Conn say cheese. He was a real good hooper growing up, and then he, say cheese. But everything happens for a reason. But I feel you though. You definitely be like wondering, like, because this the industry is hard. Man, even with the success, like it man.
You got to remember, we in the same thing. Podcast, music, all that is in the same realm.
Right.
So we all facing the same exact thing.
Around the same.
Everybody trying to grab a bite off the plate. You feel me? Everybody scratching and crawling trying to get in. It's just a lot of people. So I feel like if I would have took that chance, or you would have took that chance, or somebody would have took that chance, you know what I mean, probably would have made it. Now I know damn well I would have made it, you know what I mean, for sure. And that's an easy, because we doing this to provide. I love it though. I'm doing music. I love it, you know what I mean? But you still got to make money off of it. It's a business. So you're doing this to provide. So sometimes I think like, damn, I would have had an easy meal ticket for the family and people up under me and put people in position. But, you know, God wanted something else. You know what I mean? I did this. I could have chose that, and I just didn't have that person in my ear like, bro, you tripping. Like, somebody could have been like, hey, bro, you heard what Coach said? Is you, boy, you better get up, man. You should be out here balling. You tripping. Then nobody really do that. You know what I mean? They like, man, he in the track. They knew I was dope in track too, though. But track ain't paying like no football. Ain't paying like no football, man. But it ain't all about the money. Because I love football. I watch it every day, you know what I mean, when it come on. I lock myself in the room. You can't, don't even come in here playing. Yeah, don't even come. Yeah, you don't even come touching me. Don't come talking to me or nothing, you know what I mean? Until this last year, I've learned to kind of take the emotion out of the game. Because I just did it last year. I'm like, you know, because they living their life. They getting paid. We ain't getting paid to watch them like now. We just getting paid money to watch them and all that. But I'm like, man, you got to take the emotion out of that, you know what I mean? So I started, I love my Packers, but I ain't getting too emotional like I used to.
Because you're going to get hurt. They going to break your heart at some point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's really what it is.
Have you acting all crazy out of character?
Man, that
do be affected.
Man, it be affected. I don't listen. On game day, bro, the door, that's shut just like that. The door shut. I'm in there chilling, and them 4 hours and the game is on. Don't touch, don't. People be calling me. I'm like, man, what is he calling me for? He know I'm watching. And I feel like people call me on purpose. When I'm watching the game, some of that too. But then just be calling me because they know they can get in touch with me at that time.
Right.
Because they know I'm watching the game, so they know the phone there. Right. Any other time I'll be busy doing stuff, so they try to call me on game day, bro. Don't be calling me on game, though. I'm watching the game, bro.
Right. Yeah. So all right, man. You got any final thoughts, shout outs, last minute things you want to say?
Man, shout out to you, man. You know, I'm glad I got to pull up and on this promo run, man. Shout out the Warehouse, shout out Ash, and shout out Ember. Shout out, you know what I mean, the whole team, a lottery picking so many. Russell, for showing love. You know what I mean? All the artists that's trying to get there, man. Shout out to y'all. There's a lot of dope artists in Denver as well. I'll be through here, you feel me? I'll be here just like one of my hubs. I record at this studio a lot, so all the artists that's in Denver that's doing their thing, you know what I mean? I know it's a lot that's capable and can make it, and you providing that platform. So that's really dope, you know what I mean? And everybody that's trying to get to where they gotta go, man. Anybody ever need something from me, I'm always a message DM away. You know what I mean? I got a lot of connections, a lot of plugs. I'm always like trying to throw something to somebody, you feel me? And without wanting anything, because the blessing's gonna come. Yeah, this your boy Dayon, the $1 Million Voice. And y'all know who you locked in with. Mile High Minute, man. The hottest podcast in Denver, man. Y'all better get an interview ASAP. You already taking it to the moon with it. Shout out. You already know what it is. Denver, salute. It's your boy Dayon, the $1 Million Voice. Let's get to it.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment down below. The biggest gem you picked up from this interview.
Hey, matter of fact, follow me though. Instagram, Dayon Music, DAIYON MUSIC. That's on my Instagram. Make sure y'all get at me, man.
Make sure y'all subscribe, hit that bell button, stay notified when all latest news drop. Go follow Dayon on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that links will be in the description.
All my fans, man. Yep. Follow Mile High Minute, man.
Yeah, get appreciate that. Make sure y'all follow us. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that links will be in the description. And I'll do it. Mile High Minute, #1 blog in the universe.
Let's get it.
We out. Appreciate you.